लाइव होंगे 5 सेकंड में ऐसा
ठीक हो गया
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Revive FM 94.0. I'm your host Nawaz Rajapakistani with your weekly program, Signature Topic. Today is a special program we are doing, discussing on the massacre happened in 2014, 17th of June. It's 6 years has been passed. In the program today, at the first we were expecting Mr. Rauf Qazi because of some situation, he has to pull out of the guest list, and now Mr. Zeeshan has come a bit forward. Otherwise, he was supposed to join me at 3:30. I hope Mr. Zeeshan is with me at the moment. I welcome him to the program. So, Rai Sahab, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Nawaz sahab. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time out, sir. Rai Sahab, today we are focusing in a way that you have seen the Black Lives Matter campaign is happening around the world because of the George Floyd, who was killed by the American police, and the people started raising their voices in America, even in the UK as well. But keeping in view this point of view, sir, why as a nation, we Pakistani as a nation, the 17 people were killed in 2014, which is also known as the Model Town massacre. So this program is a multi-language, so you can speak in Urdu as well, no problem in it. So why as a nation we did not come up with a solution, and we couldn't find any responsible person who was we can call them that this person was a responsible person for the killing of those 17 innocent people. And we did not raise ourselves as a nation. Why? What do you think? As a nation, we are dead now.
I think. Well, let's go back to the bit of history. We have to remind about the history as well. It was in 2014, and then government. It was a Noon League. It was the ruling party at that time. Now we all need to know that. The conditions were not very suitable when it comes to especially the personal relationships between the two parties, the TUQ and the then Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz Sharif. The situation was not very suitable between the two parties as well. This is because they knew it, and they were taking it as a political threat to the party, to the other party. Now, the question is that once that particular incident happened, no one came forward and said that, well, it was injustice, and who's responsible for it? Because the government clearly stated, government said, well, because there was a demonstration, and they were trying to actually intervene in between the lines. They were destroying the stuff over there as well, and thus then we didn't have any option other than to just to respond back. And I believe that, well, this is the responsibility of the government. Whatever the case is, killing people is not a solution. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it was a violation of the human rights as well at the same time as well. And imagine 14 people died on the same day, and who's responsible for it? Of course,
17 people. Yeah, 17
people died straight away, and who's responsible for it? A state is responsible for it, and I believe that this matter should have been sorted out a long time ago, and this is very unfortunate that we are in 2020. 6 years have been passed, and we are still struggling to get justice out of it.
I'm just my question is, Raisa, did we politicize the case, and we are failed as a nation rather than keeping our loyalties with the political parties? We did not showed our loyalty with the people who died in that the incident.
I would say that there are different beneficiaries, and there were some rumors as well. Some said, well, few people, they believe that it was compromised. Few said that because it was paid off to the deceased families. So there are different rumors. So far as the legal situation is concerned, that is still pending into the court, still needs to be sorted out. The then chief minister, he should have been accountable for it as well. And I still believe that one of the law ministers at that time, who was from the Faisalabad, I believe, and he stated that, well, this is the right of the state, and he said that because there was a rumor as well that under the instructions of the then chief minister, the police were basically instructed, to directly fire to the protesters over there. So that is absolutely, I believe, the breach of the fundamental rights as well. Look, Nawaz, the thing is that we, being as nation, believe that we have the constitution. Excuse me. We have the Constitution of 1973. We believe in the fundamental rights, which is clearly mentioned into the Constitution of Pakistan 1973, that everybody is free for the freedom of movement. So if we believe to the freedom of movement, we believe in the democracy. That was their democratic right to come into the roads and to protest against the policies of the government. But in response, this is not the solution that you straight away kill to the protesters. So I believe that the government should have been basically took the responsibility at that time, and unfortunately that wasn't sorted out. And I believe that in a way we are responsible for it as well.
Raisa, you are saying everything right. Okay, no doubt in it. They have the right to protest it, and they were killed very wrongly. They shouldn't be killed like this, 17 people. But my point is this: that incident happened. No doubt that incident happened. But if you compare with the George Floyd, one person was killed and the people came out on the street. But this is not the same situation in Pakistan. 17 people killed.
17 people, because I understand your question, Nawaz, but because the thing is that it was the attack and the minority. When we talk about the George Floyd, we can't mix the two incidents, because these are the two different incidents. One was against the minorities, and the other one was within the particular jurisdiction.
I think there is some issue with the streaming. I have lost Zeeshan sir. I think he will come back. Yeah. Sorry, Raisa, I can't hear you because because of the signals issue, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat?
Yes, I can do that absolutely. So what I'm saying is that we cannot actually compare these two incidents, because George Floyd incident, the one in America, it was people took it basically attack on minorities, as this is what the movement is all about, the Black Lives Matters, and on the other side, it was an attack to the religious sector in a religious state, which basically came into existence in the name of religion, Islam, of course, and in that particular state, if it happened, I believe that this crime was bigger than that.
Exactly.
So my point is,
rather than a minority,
you're a majority. Not even minority. If you're majority, if your majority is not basically saved, you cannot actually protect and you cannot provide them their fundamental rights. So who's accountable to it then? Because we have rules and regulations, but unfortunately, we haven't actually implemented those particular rules into the way that the people should have been basically accountable straight away. Now, again, back to the rumors. Now, the rumors stated, few of them, the political figures, they said that it was settled between the parties. The diyat, which we call it, an amount basically to the deceased family was being paid, and I still believe that even then you have to show that the justice have been done. This is not the way that you actually took the things into the underway. You actually, I've heard that there were some deals between the party as well. So whatever the case is, that you have to set a precedent, and to set a precedent in a state, you must have to take actions and to basically and to also to accountable to the relevant people, those who are actually involved into it. There was one funny character involved. I still remember his Gullu Bhatt was the I remember he was the one who was actually involved into it as well. So I believe that people have to take the responsibility to it. We need there's not even one Gullu Bhatt. Everywhere you can find Gullu Bhatt. Gullu Bhatt culture is from the police to everywhere. In every department you can find Gullu Bhatt.
Exactly.
So we need to find those Gullu Bhatts, Nawaz. We need to find out, and we need to make sure to discourage such people.
Exactly. We need to punish those people. That's the reason I'm saying, we did not dealt with. If you're saying, I don't know about this, the development that the two parties have agreed on some type of date
Well,
on
this
that.
is what I've
I
heard as
don't.
well. This is what
Yeah,
these are the rumors. Even
I didn't know that.
that's not been confirmed. But these are the
Yeah,
rumors, and everybody
yeah,
knows that it's been circulated from a long time, and that's the
but
reason still
let's
the matter is
suppose that,
pending.
yeah, let's suppose if they have taken the deal, still those people should be punished. Still
They should
those
have
people
been absolutely, because this is the
who fired on
responsibility
these
of the
people.
state, and I mean they were representing state at that time in the capacity of being as the police officer or whatever the case is. It's not between the two parties, two individual parties. It was between the state and the common people.
As a common.
So they should
No,
have
right, sir.
actually taken the responsibility then.
This is the incident. Again, I will come back to my original question.
Yeah,
I want to bring out something about the behavioral issue. Like, the okay, I will bring it a bit further. Like, on the killing of Zainab.
yeah,
The this we know what happened with Zainab. It was a rape case, and she was, they died.
yeah.
And we as a nation, on the Facebook, we have posted a lot of, the things, okay, why this thing has happened. But as a nation, we did not come out. Now, if you think, our behavior has gone so low that in time of this coronavirus, when the people are dying, we are focusing on how can we make money out of it. That's the thing I'm saying, that as a nation, our behavior is dying day by day.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because now look, Nawaz, thing is that we are from the third world countries, and we need to understand one thing as well, that we cannot actually expect the morals up to the mark. I agree with you. Whenever there is an injustice, everybody should be in the streets. Everybody should, I mean, demand everybody should seek the justice as well. But unfortunately, all five fingers are not the same.
Not,
We have
yeah.
good people. We have the people, those who actually opportunists. We call them opportunists, and they, regardless of the humanitarian effort or whatever the case is, they are more into their commercial interest. And as you mentioned, into the coronavirus scenario, we have seen that lockdown around, people are dying all around, and there are some opportunities. They are taking advantages of it, and they are not the single individuals. They're not the individuals. These are the big companies. Those are involved into it. I have heard that people, some of the, medical store, from the medical stores to the big businesses, they are involved into it, and they don't care about it, because they are taking advantage of the misery of the people, because
Misery.
they know that people are basically bound to get the particular medicines or the injections, which they are basically selling it, with a huge amount at the moment. So that's very unfortunate. Being as a nation, I believe that, I'm going to quote what Dr. Yasmin Rashid said yesterday. Everybody basically condemned that. But in a way, we have to admit as well that yes, there are some faults, within ourselves as well. Although I strongly condemn what she said. But at the same time, we can't say that everything is going fantastic, up to the mark. There are some faults, and socially, morally, we need to raise our morals, I believe.
We need to raise our morals. On this point, I want to add some, the one incident which recently happened on, I believe, this Sunday, and today is the 17th of June. So I will say on 14th of June, one of my friends, I want to mention this incident. This is truly happening now. One of my friends, his brother, infected by this COVID-19, and he was in hospital in Lahore. First 6-7 days, he was is in so much trouble that they unable to find a bed hospital to admit him to, so that they can give him an oxygen. So at night time, because of the electricity fluctuation, that person gone into trouble, like he was almost going to die, or how he was died. And then after 1 hour of complaining and this, they able to I will say bring the doctor to the patient, and then they said, okay, we're going to put you onto the ventilator. And what happened after that? He actually died at that same time, like after 1 minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes. And then they were saying that you need to pay 250,000 or 200,000 rupees for extra ventilator cost, and then they will give him whatever the body to bury it. So at this level, we are now at this level that we can see that the deaths are happening in our people. But we're still not learning, and we're still not the opening our eyes that we need to behave rather than exploiting the people, rather than supporting them, we are exploiting them.
Nawaz, I would say, well, I mean, that is quite unfortunate anyway, but we need to realize one thing, that these are the unprecedented times. We have never experienced such times globally. I'm talking about globally, not particularly in Pakistan. And everybody is just basically they're into their own standards. So whatever they're doing within their own standards, which you mentioned. I mean, this president. We need to remember one thing, that although we value the frontline workers all around, whatever they're doing, but yes, we need to realize one thing as well, that there are, again, I would say, there are some opportunists as well, and regardless of any humanitarian issue or whatever the case, they don't bother at all. As they're selling bodies, they don't bother. I mean, even I've heard one thing, that for some of them, what they're doing is that if someone basically dies from the other disease, and they pretend that he dies from coronavirus, and this is how they're blackmailing to their families as well. So this is actually reality. What is happening globally at the moment is, on the name of coronavirus, is, I would say, is like a blackmailing. And this is particular sector, I would call them as a mafia, because they are taking advantage out of it, regardless of any humanitarian effort, whatever the case is. They're taking out advantage out of it. And again, these people, they are expert into it. There is a rumor on social media, even starting from yesterday, that there is a vaccine has been invented for coronavirus, and now everybody can get it.
Yeah.
And yes, so I believe, I spoke to one of the doctors this morning, and he said that's well, he said, and this is absolutely rubbish, because nothing has been done so far, and that medicine was.
But this medicine is saying, the Prime Minister of UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he has told.
He did, but he was even misinformed about that, because it has nothing to do for someone to be vaccinated, and then he wouldn't be actually get it. There is a difference between a medicine and a vaccination. We need to remember one thing. Well, this vaccination is something that those who are like me and you, if we are healthy at the moment, if we get it, we get that vaccination, we will be actually catch the coronavirus. Medicine is something different, which you give to those people, those who are suffering at that time. And if you give it to them, like if someone is basically suffering in a fever, if you give them the Panadol, they will be able to get recovery into it. So these are the rumors, different rumors, and the big mafias are behind that. Because they know at the moment, we know that vaccination could take a year or maybe a couple of years. So they know that at the moment people are in need. So they are taking advantage from the people, those who need some urgent care, and those who are actually in a process, to determine the true facts about this disease. So it's confusing them at the moment, basically.
It's the confusion. So it's the good news which we were listening yesterday, and I was telling as well to the family in Pakistan, that at least we know we have a dexamethasone, the medicine which at least can cure the people. Okay, coming back to the topic, again, we as a nation, I'm talking about the behavioral issues now. Today, my point is that I want to bring something out about these behavioral issues we have as a Pakistani nation. So we were talking about Model Town massacre, like these on 2014, and now 6 years has been passed. And I was checking the history. That three times, the JITs were made, and those JITs were then you are a solicitor as well, so you know very well than me that those.
That was a joint investigation anyway.
Those the three JITs were suspended by the High Court, and now it is complete silence. So it's mean we are not going further towards the investigation, and we are unable to find those killers who killed them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, at the moment, what happened is, because, as you mentioned,
one more. I'm interrupting you. One more thing. What do you think if we don't have politicized that case, like if we don't put it on big parties, like okay, as a ruler, you are responsible for the killing of even a dog, which is very famous in our Islam, that you as a ruler, you are responsible for the death or killing of a dog even because of the water thirst.
Absolutely.
You are responsible, even that dog is died on the brink of a river.
State is responsible for it straight away. Yes, I do agree with you. Yes.
Apart from that, as a nation, don't you think that we have politicized that the case, and rather than finding those, even the police constable the deputy superintendent police, or whatever the people who were responsible for removing those barricades from in front of the that the place, they should be punished, and they should be they should be behind the bars, so that in future, if anyone asking them to fire on the people, on on these such type of innocent people,
Yeah.
they know that we don't have to follow these orders, because we are killing the innocent people.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is that Nawaz, the justice system in every country has a great role to show the true impression of a country, or to a state, basically. And when Pakistan came into existence back in 1947, I will just quote the objective resolution of Pakistan as well. And this is what it says, stated straight away about the value of the fundamental rights and about the true impression of the state, that is in the name of Islam, and it's going to be the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. But we need to think, are we fulfilling those responsibilities to be called as a true Islamic state? As you mentioned, that even if a dog dies, even if from the animals to everybody, at the end of the day, state is responsible for it. And imagine those were the 17 human lives which we lost on that particular day, not from the individuals, not from a mafia, or I would say not from the there was not kind of like any robbery or anything like that. It wasn't a war between the two individual parties. It was the state between a common man. Common man which is obliged to get the fundamental rights under the Constitution of Pakistan 1973. So that means that you violated your rules and regulations as well. You violated the terms of the Constitution of Pakistan. You violated the terms of the objective resolution of Pakistan, and you at the end of the day denied the fact that you are in Islamic Republic of Pakistan, that you have to follow those norms. So I believe the rulers are responsible for it until date. I think if we
till date the rulers are responsible. Till date,
we are confused about it. In between, we have seen that we are talking about this particular incident happened in 2014. Whatever the case is, I don't want to quote again about those rumors about it, that there is a deal or whatever the case is. It was between the parties. If the state, or if there is a deal, something like that, hidden, because we haven't actually seen some so far. I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look like that. But if there is anything like that, whatever the case is, at the end of the day, people needs to see that the justice has been done. And if you want to show the precedent, then you have to actually take them behind the bars, and then they deserve to get the capital punishment, whatever the case is, because this is what Islam said as well, that an eye into eye. So and at the end of the day, they deserve to get the justice. We need that justice. You need that justice. I need that justice, because this is the responsibility of the state to satisfy the citizens that yes, this was your fundamental right to come into the streets and to go for the demonstration, and whoever violates your right at the end of the day and take on those basis, they took 17 lives, so then they should have taken the responsibility. Those who actually did these kind of stuff against the norms of the Constitution of Pakistan or the rules and regulations, this was not the part of their job to fire in front of the people. Well, there was a rumor as well. There was another rumor that one of the constables said that, well, I've been told that CM clearly stated that just fire in front of them, just do a clear fire. And whatever the case is, the GIT so far, they have concluded nothing so far in between.
This is the point I'm saying. Let's suppose if that policeman or whatever the DSP, he obeyed the order of whatever the higher ups given him the order. He was so blind and dumb that he is accepting those orders to kill the innocent people. So we should have made those police constables and the SP or DSP who were at that point, who were responsible for the removing those the things, whatever they have gone for removing it. We should have.
Let me just add one thing.
We should have put them in jail. We should have give them the capital punishment, so that in the future, if someone gave them such order, they will tell them, sir, these are the innocent people. We are not going to fire on them. No, we have not made them the example. What will happen in future? That 6 years has been passed. We have not made them the example, and now this is the time of Corona, and we are gone so low that we are taking money from the dead people even now. So that's the reason we did not make an example of one event. So now we are facing the other event, the event of Zainab. We are facing this, the killing of other people. Like one
Absolutely.
killing was happening.
It's a sequence. It's a sequence. Yes.
It's a sequence. Like I don't want to mention about the event of the name of those rulers which have killed the innocent people in Islamabad as well. At the same time, we as a nation we did nothing because we we have given the firearm to the people to go and kill people, innocent people, where we can go and negotiate and we can bring them out. But
referring a Lal Masjid incident?
Yes. But
Right.
that even happened. Then this 2014 happened. Then Zainab case is happening. Now coronavirus is happening. Like we are killing people, but we are not sorting out the solution. We are raising our standards.
Right. Nawaz, to answer you all these queries, all these questions, there is this one case which we all know is let me tell you, you have raised a very valid point. Like if an officer who is basically obliged to follow the directions of the high ups, and if he gets the call that yes, just do the firing straight away, well, is he only responsible for it? The answer is absolutely no. Now let's come to the case, which I'm going to add it as an example. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto case, abatement.
Okay, you speak, then I will give you an example. Okay, please.
Abatement. Basically, it is called. Legally, it is called abatement. If someone basically, is involved in between, is a part of the crime, and he is responsible under the abatement law. And Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was hanged into it. When you hang the former prime minister on the basis of the abatement, then why not now? This is the liability comes from that constable to the CM. Even the PM, everybody is responsible for it. So you need to settle the examples.
Yeah, I'm absolutely agree with you that they are responsible. My point is this: look at this American general. Only 2 weeks before, he was standing with American president and he was laughing on something, and then he came publicly and apologized.
Yeah.
That consider this thing that he is an American general. When he is fighting with the enemies, and someone will ask him to kill those enemies, he will kill them. And if he don't obey it, then he should be punished for that.
He will be sacked. He will be sacked from his job.
Yeah. The same thing goes with the policemen and with the army soldiers. That when we give them order to kill the enemies beyond the border or on the border during the war, they are bound to fire on the orders of their superiors. But we need to tell them, but when you are inside your country and when you're dealing with your own people, they are not your enemies. They are not your enemies. They have a different point of view than you. So, but they don't become your enemies. So when your superior is asking them to kill them, you should not have taken those orders. You should not have accepted those orders. I'm agreeing that if CM or someone has given them the order, they should be punished. But those people should be punished as well who has accepted those orders, because those people were your own people. They were not enemies. They were not the outside the border that you have to kill them. They were some people, but they have this different point of view.
Absolutely. Now the problem is because freedom of speech is not very much encouraged, especially in our country, because we have seen even, Pamra was banned, several times in between as well. As you mentioned about, there were in between Pakistan, we have faced the emergency, the martial laws, and these circumstances, freedom of speech was banned. The fundamental rights were basically banned at that time. Now coming to the point which you mentioned that yes, they should have been taken the responsibility as well, and just on the basis that if there are two different point of views, and you believe that their point of view could go actually against your policies, or could go against what the impression you have actually maintained a public impression in front of the others. So at the end of the day, you're responsible for it. Yes, we have to take that responsibility as a state, and I urge to the present government of Pakistan that they need to sort out this issue. Whatever the case is, whatever behind the bars have been done, whatever those rumors were true or not, I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into the detail. But at the end of the day, you need to set up a precedent which is based on justice, a precedent which is based on equality, a precedent which is based on the fundamental rights, the protection of the fundamental rights. So at the end of the, I believe that this needs to be sorted out. That doesn't matter whoever governed at that time.
Rather than politicizing this matter, Imran Khan, I will say openly that PM Imran Khan, who used to call himself the cousin of the particular party, he should take the responsibility. He should take the responsibility, and they should find out a way. Don't politicize this. If you cannot hang the high ups, at least start taking a little steps and start putting those people behind the bar who have at the first instant accepted those orders and fired at them.
I mean, yes, this is what he is supposed to do anyway. But I will actually give credit to a little bit credit to the present government as well. Whatever they're doing, there is a process of accountability. NAB is very much active at the moment. We have seen a former prime minister who actually came to get his medicine from UK hasn't been returned yet to Pakistan. So, and one of them is on the
But we are
ventilators.
hearing a very different news. Should I tell you?
We are actually.
I heard that he's going back, and something is going to happen in Pakistan as well. Like today, Akhtar Mengal in Parliament said he's quitting the PTI. Did you know that he's out of this?
But look, Nawaz, I know what you mean. What you're trying to say, I get the idea. But we need to remember one thing: those who are actually behind the bars, the makers, they have different options, and they are, I would say, the real makers, the think tanks. They know how to use these. I mean, the present government, they don't have the majority. We have seen that they need the different stakeholders with them. They have MQM, and they have different. I mean, the Q League in between as well. They have to actually take them all together with it. And whatever the prime minister, the then prime minister at that time, I don't know what is going on behind that. I will give you a call after the show and we'll discuss about it, what is going behind. But whatever the case is, injustice needs to be basically clarified. And if something is bad, being done as in the capacity as a professional, whatever the case at that time, the professional capacity should be responsible, should be liable directly to the government. Basically, that has to basically take the responsibility should have been taken by the government of Pakistan at that time. And so far, it's still not late, whatever they in between if there are some dealings or whatever the case. And I think, should I tell you another thing, Nawaz, which you are referring at the moment, is that all these different changes, and he's going back to Pakistan, whatever his younger brother he went to Pakistan a month back, and he was told the same thing, that come to Pakistan and we will give you the position of a prime minister of Pakistan. So don't rely on these rumors,
But Raisab, if Akhtar Mengal is coming out of the coalition,
it's a big development. Yeah, it's a big development. It's a big development.
So, maybe he has 1 or 2 seats in the parliament, but this is a sign. This is a sign. Like these big, the kingmakers, they give you simple signs. Okay, we are doing this thing. I'm giving you this sign, so I'm going to do this thing next. So this is happening.
Actually, Nawaz,
this is well said. Correctly. One more question. One more question, Aisam, I want to ask you, because now I know which party you are supporting.
No, I'm not a supporter of any party. I'm a neutral. I'm an independent opinion maker.
Yes,
so
fine.
I support the ideas and policies, not the parties.
That's fine. Raisab, I have one question for you. That if you want to achieve one target, and you think yourself, the honest man, will you like to use the dishonest people with you, or dishonest mean or wrong means to achieve your target? If you're using those, the wrong means and dishonest people to achieve your target, then this means that you are dishonest yourself as well. But he said, well, I know what you mean.
I'm talking about Imran Khan. I'm saying, but he said, but Imran used to say that, well, if your top leadership is honest, you don't need the subordinate. This is what he used to say. Yeah. He said, well, you need to believe in me. You believe in my abilities. If whatever the case is, I can't get the angels from the Pakistan, but I have to go with these people. And yes, you have to, trust on me. Look, the thing is, Nawaz, that God knows better, but I truly believe that Imran has a goodwill. At least he has some intention, a
I
passion to
agree.
do something for
Agree.
Pakistan. Again, come to his team. Yes, he's responsible for it. Being as captain, that you have to actually make sure that you have a good team with you. You can't actually go with the justification that, well, because now you're blaming your team, that you haven't actually got the good team, and that you're trying from your side, you're trying your level best. I believe that we need to remember one thing: whatever the case is, whoever is whoever is actually the policy maker at the moment is, whether it's clearly it's from the directions, if there it's coming from the GHQ or from the Parliament House, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, the basic thing is that we need to focus one thing, and that is the interest of the people of Pakistan, progress of the country. We need to make sure that there must be the justice in Pakistan. There must be the equality in Pakistan. Those who actually slogans we have seen, we have heard from the ruling party of Pakistan, that they used to say that, well, we are going to have 1 million jobs, and 3,000 homes and all these kind of stuff. Yes, I do admit that they need to do that, but the urgency, the demand of the time is that at the moment we are facing a crisis, Nawaz. At the moment, coronavirus, we can't take it lightly. Thousands of people have been fought, around more than 40,000 people have been died in United Kingdom. In Pakistan, there is a growing ratio as well now. So we need to remember one thing: we need to recognize this fact is that it's entirely different world, which we used to have 3 months before. It's not the same world at all. What the
Raisa,
budget, I mean, recent the budget which
Raisa, coronavirus pandemic is, we are facing now. No doubt in it. This is a big issue. But if we take a bigger picture of our Pakistan, that the Pakistani nation was in a high hopes that no, Imran Khan is here. He's an honest man, and we know it. He is an honest man. He did very the good things for the Pakistan, like Shaukat Khanam is the one of the most important thing he's done it. So no, the Pakistani have a high hopes from the Pakistan. No, think deep and in a broad spectrum that no, he is getting failed. So as a the individual and a whole nation will get disappointed from these politicians. Imran Khan has not a I will say he should not be failed. We should not give him an opportunity. We should support the Imran Khan, that he should be successful, because if Imran Khan don't succeed, then we as a nation we will have no trust on these politicians. And what will left in future, then we have only martial law. Then
I think
only people will
Nawaz,
say, okay, keep on doing this martial law. Musharraf should come, Ziaul Haq should come, General Ayub should come, and no, it could be Mr. Bajwa
and
will
the
come.
list goes on. The list goes on and on. Then now, thing is, Nawaz, that well, I personally I wouldn't say that he's a failure now, because it's too early to say it. Because it's only been 2 years now. At least we have to give him the proper term. Remember one thing: from the last 70
Yes.
years, we have different
Exactly.
governments, and we can't predict it. It's too early to predict that, well, he's a failure just on the basis of the 2 years performance. Yes, things should have been done into the better way. But now his point of view is that, well, how can you expect me, I mean, to remove the garbage from of last 70 years in just 2 years time? So I believe it's too early to, I mean, to predict. I mean, the final conclusion, we can actually give it to the final result after the 5 years term, because he's been basically elected for 5 years. And yes, we do admit that the strategy must have to go within the time to time. But because of the slogans which his party basically clearly mentioned at that time, and they used to say that, well, look, after the 3 months we will have a different economy and all that. Yes, we can raise the concerns about that, but I believe it's too early to say. Otherwise, Nawaz, it's going to be very difficult for us, I mean, to go through the democratic form of government, because
Exactly.
we have experienced yes, we have experienced the dictatorships, we have experienced the martial law, and those were the different strategy at that time. I mean, every ruler, every dictator, I would say, they spent like around a decade, I mean, governing to the country, governing to the state. And in democracy, the good point is that at least, whatever the case is, even if we have some corrupt government in the past as well, at least there is a democratic form of government, and they completed their term. And those who were responsible at that time, well, that's why NAB is very much active at that time, and we must have to basically encourage the accountability process at the moment. So it's too early to determine that the government has been failed. I personally wouldn't say that the government has been failed. I'm still very much passionate, although as I mentioned it earlier, I'm not the part of this government. I'm not their supporter. But being as an opinion maker, I truly believe that a democratic government deserves to have the complete term.
Right, sir, I'm absolutely with you, and I'm agreeing with your opinion that this government should, complete is 5-year terms. But as you were saying, we have it's only 2 years, and in 2 years we cannot judge people. You are right in that way as well. But I want to ask when you take measures, then you know that okay, they are going into the right direction. Now look into these, the sugar mafia case. Okay, sugar mafia case. Whatever the reports has come and whatever the high courts have done it, and me know and that Jahangir Tareen is out of the country. Pakistan, they are saying that he's in UK now. Yeah. Whatever we have, the information about that one. So if they were taking the right step, should he be out of the Pakistan now? No. So it means the government is not taking the right steps.
Well, his name should have been in ECL then.
Yeah, his name should be in the ECL. No, they have not taken the right step at that time. They have not taken the right step about the model town killing. Now the new the problem has started about these petrol shortages. Now in petrol shortages, those companies will again make the money, as they have not taken the step. So it's mean if you keep on blackmailing yourself, keep on getting blackmailed by these the big people, then what's the difference between you and the previous government? Keeping in view, you are not taking the right step. So what you will do in next 3 years? You will not do anything better than next 3 years, because if you're supporting in these last 2 years, you will not do anything in next 3 years. But still, I'm saying we have to give him the chance to complete 3 years.
Absolutely. We have to, and yes, I do agree with you that the direction so far is not up to the mark. Yes, there are some flaws as well, and like the recent budget, it's not very impressive. We need to remember one thing, that there is an urgency of healthcare at the moment. Every country is after the healthcare, because that's why they want to improve it. In the UK, we have seen that the Tories government, they wanted to privatize the NHS, and now they have realized its importance as well, the significance as well, and that's why they have raised the budget office as well. So I believe in Pakistan, the recent budget was not the reflection of the current scenario. The current scenario is a different scenario. There was a minimum kind of like the allocation of the budget for education sector or the health sector, and at the moment, again, I would say that we are in crisis. Nawaz, we need to remember one thing: it's a share of war. People people think that it's war means that you must have the clashing groups and all that. If you have, you're ready. There is the nuclear war and this and that. No. We are in a state of war, and yes, we need to realize one thing, that the situation which we are facing at the moment is unprecedented. Imagine people, it's a different world. People can't shake hands with each other. There's a two meter distance policy and all that. You can't have the parties. You can't have the demonstrations and all that. It's a different world, Nawaz, at the moment. And we have seen thousands of people die every day.
Raisa, you can only find out a true leader in the time of crisis. The person who will come and lead it, you know that this is the right leader to lead it.
Yes, because and I agree with you, and I believe Mr. Khan has, to that extent, Mr. Khan has disappointed so far, because at this crisis, it should have been realized that, because the first thing is government was not clear that what should be the strategy. Initially, they announced a lockdown, then they said we can't go with the lockdown. Then again, now they believe that yes, we need a lockdown. And the recently, Asad Umar, he quoted one thing as well, that he said, we can expect double of the numbers at the end of this month. So who's responsible of it? Of course, state is responsible for it, but Nawaz, from their point of view,
you are agreeing with me that Imran Khan is not a right leader.
I wouldn't say he's not a right leader. I would say that he needs to improve himself again, because
Okay.
it's a too big judgment for me to say that he's not a right leader. He needs an improvement, and yes, in 2 years' time, we can say that he will improve as well. But yes, the urgency of the time is, the demand of the time is that you need to be very careful with the circumstances and with the situation. Nawaz, we need to remember one thing: that Pakistan or the third world countries, they're struggling countries. We can't expect to do the same thing which we are experiencing in the United Kingdom or US. Yeah, we have the council system is very strong over here. Me and you, we stayed at home over there, and we've been paid from by the government from last 3 months. And imagine the people of Pakistan, if a labor, if a worker, if he can actually go outside to get his job being done, he can't be paid for that particular day. The daily wages, they've been affected so far. And I believe the government strategy was that yes, they need to work as well, but they need to realize it as well, that there's absolutely nothing outside them at the moment. Businesses are, I mean, struggling at the moment in Pakistan, because we don't have that system. Although, like Prime Minister has introduced a program as well, the Prime Minister program, to support those daily wages, but that's not sufficient enough. So we need to realize it as well, that yes, they have done something which needs to be criticized, but on those bases, we can't demand the change of the government. This change of the government, Nawaz, is not a solution.
No,
We can't
not
have
solution at all.
another one. We can't go for another blame game. Otherwise we will never improve in our whole lives. Basically.
Unfortunately, we have to pressurize the Imran Khan to.
We have to,
give him,
but we
tell
can't
him what is
demand.
the right
We can't
direction.
demand. We can't demand a resignation, because we don't have alternatively. We don't have angels waiting outside. We have people, those who are actually a third term prime minister, who was basically, who was declared, by the government that yes, he was the culprit. I mean, I believe that we don't have the right options as well.
This is the sad thing as well. I was thinking to in future I'm going to bring one of their the political guy into my program, and definitely I'm going to ask this question. Look at this, Jeremy Corbyn. You like Jeremy Corbyn, I like Jeremy Corbyn. There are a lot of people who like Jeremy Corbyn, but when you tell them, okay, we want you to be in a prime minister's seat because you are a very good person, the people will reply, he had a chance, but he couldn't prove to be a prime minister. So no, forget this person. But in our Pakistan, we stick to that person. Okay, if he is not a prime minister, we have to make him a prime minister. Like if Nawaz Sharif, I will say openly, if Nawaz Sharif and in the People's Party, they have been tested, okay, no, he is no more prime minister. So why we keep on asking that he should be the prime minister? There should be new person in the party as well. Why only?
The problem is that everybody wants to be the prime. The problem is, Nawaz, that everybody wants to be the prime minister.
Yeah. This is a problem. But as a nation, we have to change our behavior. We don't have to follow these people blindly, like we are following, the Nawaz Sharif, or the Bilawal, or even Imran Khan. The people are following Imran Khan as blindly as well. They don't want to they listen a criticism about Imran Khan, because if you tell them, okay, this thing he is doing wrong, they don't want to listen to it because they are from the PTI. This is the wrong behavior as a nation we have.
Absolutely,
and we have to change it.
Absolutely.
To change it. No one is angel, nor Imran is angel, nor Bilawal Bhutto is angel, nor Maryam Nawaz, and Nawaz Sharif. No one is angel. They are people like this, and they are using our vote power to make their life better. And our life is, on the brink of, I will say, we as a nation is gone very bad.
Well, I would say, I will quote Dr. Yasmin Rashid, what she said again, what she said yesterday. She said, well, we couldn't actually follow the SOPs because most of the Lahoris are Jahil, ignorant, yeah? I believe Jahil is not only the one who couldn't follow that SOP. Jahil is also those, are also those
who couldn't implement those.
Jahil are also those who didn't realize that, yes, we could actually have this much damage.
Exactly.
Jahil were also those who are actually taking advantage of the people's miseries. Jahil were also those who are taking actually is as a political agenda, and they're doing their politics on the coronavirus issue. Jahil were also those who didn't realize the implications of coronavirus. So we need to realize one thing, that everybody, those who are actually involved in this, I believe in mishandling of this issue, they should have been called jahil. He should have basically
Yes,
identified many jahils from
exactly.
within her own party as well. So
But I will
I
say,
believe
Raisa, I will say this thing in Urdu because this fikra can be
blaming,
fully said in
blaming,
Urdu.
Nawaz, blaming is not a solution. What this
Solution.
government is doing at the moment is they couldn't implement their proper policies, or they couldn't
Exactly.
basically introduce that, and now they're
Exactly.
calling people as jahil, which is absolutely
Yeah.
not a solution.
एब्सोल्युटली ना सोल्यूशन। मैं उर्दू में ये फिक्रा कहना चाहूँ, कहते हैं कि
जी,
अगर हाकम मुर्गी का अंडा खाए तो नीचे अवाम पूरी मुर्गी खा जाती है। Did you understand?
absolutely, absolutely.
So if the Hakam, the leader of our the country, and he was confused and he was saying nothing will happen, it's only a flu, then what will people do it? They will say, oh, if our prime minister is saying it's okay, you can do it and you can mingle with each other. And this thing has happened. So who is the Jahil? The Jahil, I don't want to say the Jahil is the one the people who are making the policies. They did not, they did not, I will say, did a right campaign to make people aware that you have to have a social distancing, you have to, follow the instructions. And if, because we are a, the poor nation, we cannot do
Nawaz,
the lock,
Nawaz,
we cannot do the
Nawaz,
lock,
the
Raisa,
fact of the
we
matter
cannot do the
is,
lock, Raisa,
Nawaz,
we cannot do the lockdown.
the fact of the matter is that we need to realize one thing as well, that yes, being as nation, we're not very good into being the part of discipline. It's very hard for us. I mean, for the authorities. To implement those policies anyway. SOPs is a different policies, and it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
We never thought about it that we can't actually shake hands with each other. People can't actually meet up with each other. We are not, we are not used to such kind of a lifestyle, I would say. But yes, it was hard. But I believe that this is on the other side, that yes, this is the responsibility of the people of Pakistan. I mean, this is our responsibility as well, to make it easy for them as well. Why to give them the chance? And imagine that even if on the day of Eid, if we celebrate it the same as nothing has happened, and we continue our activities and all that. So I believe that yes, these were the complications at that time. And I will quote one thing in Pakistan, which is, I mean, especially we strongly believe, being as Muslims, we strongly believe that everyone has to die.
Everyone has to die.
जो रात कब्र में लिखी है वो आनी ही आनी है. This is the ideology we believe in, but at the same time we need to realize one thing as well, that yes, our religion is beautiful religion. It teaches us all that we have to actually take the precautions as well. The monuments as well.
We have only left 2 minutes. In the end, I will just take a final note from you, but at the same time I will say we Pakistani nation is a great nation. Look at this. If we need just a right leader to lead us, look at this. If we see a Artugul drama and every single person is becoming an Artugul, so it's we have some energy, but we need a right type of leader. But we don't have a right type of leader. Imran Khan, in my point of view, till now he's failed.
I would say that again. I would say give him some time. Yes, we need to realize that the demand of the time is that we can't actually expect another experiment. My point of view, I'm not supporting him. I'm not saying that yes, we have to continue with the same government. What I'm saying is that at the moment we can't afford, imagine, to have another election, and we don't have the angels into the alternative to come and govern to us and to rule to us. So we need to go through with the same thing. We don't need to change leaders. We need to change our ideology. We need to change our vision. So I believe that we all together, we have to go with a win-win situation. And this ideology must have to be followed by the people of Pakistan, from a single human being to the top leadership. And again, if we come back to conclude our topic, the main topic, that yes, those who were involved in those basically mishandling of the case of this Model Town case, they should be basically hanged publicly.
Right, so these are the words I was going to say, and you have taken my words exactly. We will demand Imran Khan that he has promised that he will bring those people into the justice. So if you cannot catch those big names, because you don't want, I will say, don't politicize it. Don't catch those big names. At least make those policemen examples, so that the next time another policeman don't fire a shot on innocent people. With these words, sir, I will say thank you for joining me in the program, and inshallah soon we will come with a new topic, this same type of topic. So till then, sir, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.